The Student Loans Act of 2024 aims to improve access to education for all, regardless of their financial background. It offers interest-free loans to cover institutional and maintenance fees for Nigerian students who might otherwise be unable to afford them. This bill repeals and reenacts the Student Loans Access to Higher Education Act of 2023. It introduces significant improvements to ensure better accessibility and management of education loans in Nigeria. Historically, such loans have been limited and inadequately structured. But will the Student Loans Act be effective in achieving its aims? Let's break this down. In 1993, the military head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, signed the Nigerian Education Bank Act into law. This act aimed to establish an education bank that would provide loans and financial assistance to students pursuing higher education in Nigeria. The act was largely ineffective due to poor implementation and management, insufficient funding, and economic instability. These challenges hindered the bank's ability to provide meaningful financial support to students, and it has since become defunct. Under the same regime, the Education Tax Fund, ETF, was established in 1993 to support educational institutions in Nigeria. It generated funds by collecting a 2% tax from registered companies. In 2011, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, was established to replace the ETF. TET Fund was established by President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. It manages and oversees the distribution of education tax funds for public tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Its aim is to address critical gaps in infrastructure, instructional materials, research, and staff development. The recent attempt to provide structured student loans was through the 2023 Act, which was signed into law on June 12, 2023. The 2023 bill primarily focused on providing interest-free loans to students, but failed to establish a solid administrative structure. It required 2 loan guarantors and disqualified applicants whose parents had defaulted on previous loans. The bill also had a family income cap of 500,000 naira per annum, which restricted many potential beneficiaries. Recognizing these gaps, the government decided to amend the legislation, resulting in the Student Loan Bill of 2024. The key provisions of the new bill aim to enhance the effectiveness and reach of the education loan program. Firstly, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NIL Fund, was established as a corporate body tasked with managing and diversifying funding sources. The NIL Fund is empowered to invest and manage funds, ensuring sustainability and growth. It raises money from several sources, majorly 1% of all taxes, levies, and duties collected by the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Secondly, the new bill excludes the income threshold and guarantor requirement, which broadens the eligibility criteria. It also includes provisions that ensure the equitable distribution of loans across various ethnicities, religions, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Students are eligible for loans that cover tuition fees and other associated costs like maintenance allowances. Applications are currently open. The process involves visiting the NIL Fund website, creating an account, gathering necessary documents, filling out the application form, and submitting it online. Both new students and those already enrolled in school are eligible to apply. The amount a student can borrow is determined based on their financial needs. The fund will assess each application to determine the appropriate loan amount, ensuring it covers necessary education expenses. NIL Fund pays the large-scale funds such as tuition and fees directly to the schools. Smaller amounts like maintenance allowances are given to the students. The repayment plan commences 2 years after completion of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) program. Graduates who need additional time before repaying can apply for an extension by submitting an affidavit. This is permitted if a borrower faces genuine financial hardship or unemployment. Despite these advancements, the challenges within Nigeria's education sector remain significant. The average allocation to education from 1960 to 2023 was 5.94%, significantly below UNESCO's recommendation of 15% to 20%. This underfunding has contributed to Nigeria's low secondary school enrollment ratio, which stood at around 20% in 2020. Additionally, the country faces a high out-of-school rate, with millions of children and students dropping out due to financial constraints. Meanwhile, unemployment and underemployment rates, which have remained high over the last decade, pose a potential challenge to loan repayment. This means that for the program to be sustainable, the government must also ensure that graduates have ample employment opportunities to fulfill their repayment obligations. In summary, the 2024 Student Loan Bill is a significant step towards reducing the financial barriers to higher education in Nigeria. However, its success relies on proper implementation, good fund management, transparency, and a thriving labor market.